Es war 1780 und es war irgendwie no plastic money anymore. Die Banken gegen ihn. Woher die Schuld?
Most chart-topping hits come from established stars with major label backing. But some of the biggest songs in music history came from complete unknowns who struck gold with quirky, unexpected novelties. These are 10 novelty hits that pulled bands from obscurity. Number 10. Dominique by the Singing Nun. Over 1.5 million copies sold in America alone. Belgian nun Jeanne Deckers, performing as Sœur Sourire, had no professional music career when she began writing songs in her convent. The recording was made at Philips Studios in Brussels, and her gentle French-language tribute to Saint Dominic charmed American radio programmers who had no idea what she was singing about. By December 1963, Dominique hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, holding the top spot for 4 weeks and making her the most unlikely chart topper in pop history. The song won a Grammy Award. Ed Sullivan invited her to perform on his show in January 1964, where millions watched a real nun in full habit, strumming guitar. The success was overwhelming for someone who had taken vows of poverty, with all recording profits going to the congregation. She eventually left the convent in 1966, struggled with fame and financial hardship, and died tragically in 1985. But for one magical moment, a Belgian nun conquered American pop music with pure, accidental charm.
The darkest night, I can see the heavenly glow.
Number 9. They're Coming to Take Me Away, Ha-Haaa by Napoleon XIV.
Coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha.
Jerry Samuels worked as a recording engineer in New York with no ambitions of pop stardom. In 1966, he created one of the strangest records ever to crack the top 10, using only a snare drum, bass drum, tambourine, hand claps, siren effects, and pitch-shifted vocals manipulated with a variable frequency oscillator. The song told the story of a man losing his sanity, with the twist ending revealing the narrator was addressing a runaway dog. Radio stations played it as a novelty, and listeners couldn't get enough. It shot to #3 on the Billboard Hot 100.
No, you laughed, I heard you laugh. You laughed, and then you left, but now you know I'm utterly...
Then the backlash hit hard. Mental health advocates complained the song mocked psychiatric patients. Radio stations began pulling it despite its popularity. The B-side was literally the A-side played backwards, adding to the controversy. Sales exceeded 1 million copies, but Samuels never had another charting hit. The record remains banned on many classic hit stations, a relic of an era when shock value could briefly overcome obscurity.
To take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the happy...
Number 8. Macarena by Los Del Rio. Antonio Romero and Rafael Ruiz were a long way from their youth when they became overnight sensations. The Spanish flamenco duo had performed together since the early 1960s, beloved in Spain but completely unknown in America. In 1993, they recorded Macarena, a simple dance track inspired by Venezuelan flamenco dancer Diana Patricia Kubayan. It became a modest Spanish hit, then disappeared. 2 years later, Miami-based producers The Bayside Boys created an English remix that changed everything. The new version exploded across American radio in 1996. It spent 14 consecutive weeks at #1 from August through November, becoming the biggest song of the year. The dance became a cultural phenomenon, performed at weddings, sporting events, and the 1996 Democratic National Convention. Los Del Rio suddenly found themselves on every major American television show. The song sold over 11 million copies worldwide and remains one of the best-selling singles of all time. A Spanish duo had conquered the world with 4 simple dance moves. Number 7. Pac-Man Fever by Buckner and Garcia. Before the video game craze, Jerry Buckner and Gary Garcia were jingle writers and commercial producers in Ohio. They wrote advertising music, produced records for other artists, and dreamed of a breakthrough that never came. In 1981, they noticed the explosion of arcade gaming and decided to write a song about the biggest game of all. Pac-Man Fever featured synthesizer sound effects mimicking the game and an infectious chorus that captured the zeitgeist perfectly. Released in December 1981, it peaked at number 9 in March 1982 and sold around 2.5 million copies. The parent album went gold. Columbia Records signed them to a major deal. Buckner and Garcia appeared on American Bandstand and Solid Gold on the same day, performing their ode to pixelated dots and digital ghosts. When the arcade boom faded, so did their career. But for one glorious year, two unknowns became the voice of gaming culture.
Got a pocket full of quarters and I'm headed to the arcade.
Number 6, Da 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 by Trio. In 1982, new wave music was getting increasingly complex and synthesizer-heavy. German band Trio went the opposite direction with deliberate minimalism. The song featured only bass, drums, and keyboard, with 90% of the lyrics consisting of the words da da da. Stefan Remmler, Gert Krawinkel, and Peter Behrens were completely unknown outside Hamburg when they released what they called an anti-song. German radio dismissed it as too simple and annoying to succeed. Then something unexpected happened. The quirky repetition became hypnotic and catchy. Da 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 climbed to number 2 in Germany, then hit number 1 in Austria and Switzerland. It spread across Europe, eventually charting in over 30 countries. MTV played the low-budget video constantly, introducing American audiences to the trio's deadpan performance style. The song also reached number 2 in the UK. Trio never matched that success, disbanding by the mid-1980s. But their 3-minute experiment in musical minimalism proved that sometimes less really is more. Before we continue, which of these novelty hits did you hear first? Did you dance to the Macarena at a wedding or play Pac-Man at the arcade? Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. Number 5, Pass the Dutchie by Musical Youth. The members of Musical Youth were barely teenagers. Brothers Frederick and Patrick Waite, along with Kelvin Grant, Michael Grant, and Dennis Seaton, were Birmingham schoolboys who formed a reggae band in 1981. They adapted Pass the Catchy by the Mighty Diamonds, changing coochie, slang for a marijuana pipe, to Dutchie, Jamaican patois for a cooking pot. The sanitized lyrics made it radio-friendly while maintaining the reggae groove. Pass the Dutchie hit number 1 in the United Kingdom in October 1982. It climbed to number 10 in America, making them one of the youngest groups ever to crack the US top 10. The infectious rhythm and innocent vocals charmed audiences worldwide, selling millions of copies globally. They toured internationally and were nominated for Best New Artist at the 1984 Grammy Awards. But as the members aged and their voices changed, the charm faded. By 1985, they had disbanded. Tragedy followed when Patrick Waite died of a hereditary heart condition in 1993 at age 24. Number 4, I'm Too Sexy by Right, said Fred.
Too sexy for the land, New York and Jug.
Brothers Fred and Richard Fairbrass ran a gym and dance studio in London with no music. Industry connections. In 1991, they teamed with friend Rob Manzoli to create a satirical song mocking the male vanity they witnessed daily at their fitness club. I'm Too Sexy featured campy spoken word delivery over a pulsing house beat, with Fred declaring himself too sexy for his shirt, his car, and Milan fashion runways. British radio initially refused to play it, dismissing it as novelty trash.
Too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my shirt, so sexy it hurts.
Then the song exploded internationally. It hit number 2 in the UK, held off the top spot by Bryan Adams, and climbed to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in February 1992 for 3 weeks. American audiences embraced the camp aesthetic. making it a dance floor anthem and MTV staple. The Shirtless Brothers became unlikely pop figures, appearing on every talk show. They released follow-up singles, but nothing matched their debut. Right Said Fred proved that gym operators could conquer pop music with irony, timing, and ridiculous confidence.
Father, you know what I mean, and I do my little turn on the catwalk.
Number 3. Rock Me Amadeus by Falco.
1780 und es war in Wien noch Plastic Money anymore, die Banken gegen ihn, woher die Schulden kamen.
The first, and still only German-language song to hit number 1 in America, came from an Austrian artist nobody stateside had heard of. Johann Holzel, performing as Falco, had already scored massive European hits, including Der Kommissar, which reached number 1 across several countries. But he was completely unknown in the United States when he released Rock Me Amadeus in 1985. The song blended German and English lyrics in a rap-rock tribute to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, inspired by the 1984 film Amadeus. American program directors thought a German-language rap song about an 18th-century composer had zero commercial potential. They were spectacularly wrong.
1780 und es war in Wien noch Plastic Money anymore, die Banken gegen ihn, woher die Schulden kamen, war wohl die...
Rock Me Amadeus topped charts across the world and hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in March 1986. The bizarre fusion of high culture and pop music created something genuinely original. MTV played the video constantly, with Falco dressed in period costumes and modern streetwear. The song spent 3 weeks at number 1. Falco became an international sensation overnight. He died in a car accident in the Dominican Republic in 1998. But Rock Me Amadeus remains a testament to how novelty and artistry can coexist.
Hatte Schulden, denn trank, doch ihn liebten alle Frauen und jede rief, mir kann man Rock Me Amadeus.
Number 2. Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. On August 1, 1981 at 12:01 a.m., MTV launched with 5 words: "Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll." The first music video ever broadcast was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. Trevor Horn and Jeff Downes were British musicians when they recorded the new wave track in 1979, a commentary on how technology changes music consumption. The song hit number 1 in the UK in October 1979, but only reached number 40 in America. Then MTV chose it to launch their network.
For your second symphony, rewritten by machine on new technology. And now
Suddenly, the song gained immortal status as a cultural landmark. The irony was perfect. A song about new technology killing old media became the first video on a channel that would transform the music industry. Horn and Downes briefly joined Yes, then pursued production. Careers. Horn became one of the most successful producers of the 1980s, working with Frankie Goes to Hollywood and Pet Shop Boys. The Buggles never released another hit, but their one novelty single became the symbolic bridge between 2 eras of popular music.
pictures came and broke your heart.
Number 1. Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum.
On to the spirit in the sky. It's where I'm gonna go when I...
One of the most played songs in radio history was written by a Jewish folk singer from Massachusetts. Norman Greenbaum toiled in obscurity throughout the 1960s, playing coffee houses and releasing unsuccessful singles. In 1969, he watched Porter Wagoner perform gospel music on television and decided to write a Christian rock song with heavy fuzz guitar. Spirit in the Sky combined religious imagery with psychedelic rock intensity, creating something radio had never heard before. The song climbed to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 in early 1970, selling over 2 million copies.
Been a sinner, I never sinned. I got a friend in Jesus.
The fuzzy guitar riff became instantly recognizable, and the gospel chorus transcended religious boundaries. The song has been featured in dozens of films, television shows, and commercials over the decades, and has been covered by artists from Doctor and the Medics to Gareth Gates, both of whom took their versions to number 1 in the UK. Greenbaum never charted again, becoming the definition of a one-hit wonder. But what a hit! Over 50 years later, Spirit in the Sky remains a radio staple, proof that sometimes obscurity ends with one perfect song.